Hello everyone, my name is Riad and welcome to Learning with Riad. So today we are gonna actually start our very first course of this channel, which is Introduction to Mechatronics. So it's gonna be very basic of mechatronics. So those who are not familiar with mechatronics, basically it's the combination of here is a combination of mechanics and electronics. So by combining mechanics and electronics you will have mechatronics. So you should have basic right now. You should understand a basic of what mechatronics is. So in this class we'll try to explain everything in simple words and with simple example. Even if you have never have been understood about this word, or maybe is not that much familiar with mechatronics, I believe at the end of this course you will be able to identify and try something by yourself. Okay, so what so let's just start with mechatronics. What is mechatronics? As I have already told you, so mechatronics will be the combination of mechanical system, then electronic. So we'll have a combination of mechanical system, electronic, and control design. And in this control design, we'll have computer programming, and we'll have control system. So the word mechatronics itself is, right now you can understand that it is a combination of mechanical system, electronics, then control system, which includes computer programming and control system. Okay, so if anyone asks you what is mechatronics, then you can always say that it's a combination of mechanical engineering plus electrical engineering. And as we all know that electrical engineering itself is involved with computer programming and control system, so that's why all together we call it mechatronics. Okay, one of the most important question right now is why we need mechatronics. Okay, this is one of the fundamental question that everyone will ask you, and we hear a lot, is why we need mechatronics. So the simple answer is we want machines to work faster, smarter, and more accurately than humans. Again, so we want machines to work more faster, more smarter, and more accurately than machines. Because the simple idea is machine don't get tired. Okay, so they can repeatedly do the same thing 1,000 times if they have the energy, if they have the amount of energy that they need. Okay, and energy can be coming from anywhere, that's a different story. But for example, they're getting enough energy from maybe electrical energy, or maybe thermal energy, maybe mechanical energy. Anyway, they're getting energy, and with that energy they're working, and they have been working for they will work 10 hours straightforward, but they're not gonna be tired. So with that logic in our mind, okay, we invented a new branch which combines mechanical engineering and electrical engineering itself, and that builds us today's mechatronics, which involves everything that you can see. Okay, think of a washing machine. Years ago, people had to wash clothes by hand, right? And today you simply press one button and the washing machine fills water, then adds detergent, washes the clothes and rinse them, right? And after that they even spin and dry that for you, if that is automatic. So how the whole thing is happening, and we call it mechatronics. Okay. Other example can be a robot, or maybe a car, or maybe a drone. And drone is a very very good example of mechatronics. And drone is like a advanced level of mechatronics where you have to implement everything. But we are going to talk about those later. Let's first understand what the other things that it can be. Okay. So um, the next question is, what makes a mechatronic system? So first of all, you have to have an input, right? So for example here, so for example in a cooling in a room. Okay. So the input is room gets hot, so you need input like rooms get hot, or maybe you have a water heater and you want to heat the water and in a certain level. So the first input will be the water, and for in here you need a room to gets hot, and for water you needed the water to get hot. Okay. And after that you will need a sensor. So for example, if the water you want the room temperature, for example in this room temperature, you want your room temperature as 25 degrees Celsius. You input that you want 25 degrees Celsius of room temperature. Okay. And that is gonna, so how we are gonna measure the room temperature? And for measuring that we need a sensor. Later in this course we are gonna talk about how we can create a sensor and everything, but for right now we need a sensor that can detect the temperature level, and after that detection is gonna send a signal that hey, our temperature is right now this, and it's gonna send a signal to Arduino, and Arduino is basically the controller, the brain what controls everything. So we have to write our whole code or anything, whole instruction in a simple words. The instruction that you have to give is gonna be through Arduino, and Arduino is basically a small computer, small, you can see small circuit, and that is very powerful, that also acts like a computer. You can say a small computer. If you search about Arduino anywhere you will see that it's kind of small circuit device. In that you can send signals, you can send instruction and anything that you want. Okay. So for now you can, let's just say Arduino is a brain where you'll have everything, you have to send everything. Okay. So then that Arduino reaches the temperature, and Arduino feels that hey, we have this temperature, so that when we have this temperature, so that we have to turn on the fan. Okay. And how we turn on the fan? The fan has a motor. So when we have a certain temperature, so for example we have a 25 degrees temperature. Okay. But we need so for example we have 25 degrees Celsius temperature, but we want 20 degrees Celsius. So we had 25, so let's write it down. We had 25 degrees Celsius, but we need 20 degrees Celsius. So we want to cool down our house. Okay. So first the sensor is going to sense that hey, we have a 25 degrees Celsius, then it's going to send a notification to Arduino and saying that hey, we have a 25 degrees Celsius, we have to turn on the fan. So then the logic will apply and Arduino will send notification to the motor to turn it on. So it's a logic, you will understand how the whole system works. But right now the Arduino is gonna send a signal, hey, turn this on. Okay, turn the motor on, and when the motor turns on the room gets cold. Okay. So that's the way how it's gonna work. You have to think like that's the way how you have to think. Okay. We talked about a lot, but let's go to the conclusion that what we will try to cover in this playlist. So in this playlist we'll try to cover almost everything that we that you can think of about mechatronics. For example, electrical circuits, that is very important. Then we are gonna cover electronics, fundamental of electronics, then sensor, then actuator, power electronics, microcontroller. You might be not be familiarized with yourself with this kind of terms, but that is okay. We are gonna learn everything one by one. At least we are gonna try to learn everything one by one. So at the end of this course, I believe you should be able to have a strong foundation of understanding what every um, mechatronics student or even mechatronics learner needs. Okay, so yeah, and thank you for all. This is everything, and the next lesson we'll start with electrical current. Okay, so electrical current, that is a fundamental, so we will try to start with that. And thank you for watching. See you.